The first step of my process is to melt the hard oils. Here I'm melting my favorite hard oil, which is shea butter, and I'm also going to add a bit of palm kernel oil. These two oils are going to help moisturize and also harden the bar. Once it's melted, I'm going to mix it with my liquid oils, which I have in this white bowl, and then I'm only doing 2 batches, so that's why it fits in a smaller container, and then I'm going to mix in my lye water. So lye water actually is what creates the oils into a soap. I could technically end here, but since I like to make designs and have fragrance, we're going to add that part next. I'm going to be using a floral and fruity scent today, so I wanted to use 4 colors that I think would complement the scent grapefruit lily really well. I separated it into 4 containers. These are pancake pour containers. They're my favorite for soap making. I'm going to do a buttercup yellow, kind of like an orange sunset for the orange. And for white, I use titanium dioxide mixed with water. I don't know why it's just not called like white mica. And the mica is a color pigment, just like all the color powders I'm adding to the batter right now. These are micas, and these are all lab made, so they're ethically friendly. As you can see, I did some fun summer colors, and for the orange and pink one, I didn't think it was dark enough or as vibrant as I wanted it to be, so I added a little bit more. Time to bust out my molds. These ones are my absolute favorite. I've bought in way more expensive molds, but I keep going back to these because they're just so good and they're the perfect size. I also forgot to add the fragrance, so I went ahead and added my pre-measured fragrance into all the jars. But one thing that I was a little mad about myself for was that I didn't realize that this fragrance oil accelerated the thickness of my soap. This happens pretty frequently with soap making. It's just a crazy science that you have to know the ins and outs of. And I've used this fragrance multiple times before, but I just forgot, I guess. So it did end up being thicker than I wanted it to be, and I couldn't get that like really flowy swirl that I thought I was going to have. But it's okay because it didn't like get super thick, which sometimes happens. So I was still able to pour it into like this cool layer design. So it's still going to have a good swirl in the middle because of how many layers of colors I was able to do. But just to make sure that I got enough color mixed around, I put in a chopstick and went up and down the mold to mix the colors further. Now, if this fragrance oil was mid and not good, I definitely would be very upset that I didn't get to do my design, but this fragrance oil is so good. It smells top tier. If you love florals, it's called grapefruit lily, so if you love those two things, and if you like florals and like sparkling, not super sweet, but really refreshing florals, you're gonna love this. It's so good. For the top design, I knew exactly where I wanted to go. I definitely knew I wanted to do flowers with green stems coming off of it. I don't know why, but I was very set on doing green stems. So for flowers, I did yellow. I think yellow flowers are underrated, but they look so pretty, elegant, and these are yellow roses that I just put on top. And the best part about the roses is that I put on a little bit of like this green blue shift shimmer glitter on top in the middle of all the roses. So you can kind of see it here, but I'll post more videos of like it up close, and it looks so good on top of them. After 2 days, the soap is ready to be unmolded. So they just come out of their little silicone molds pretty easily. Sometimes, most of the time, stuff is stuck on it, but it's very normal and it doesn't really affect the soap that much. I have this big soap cutter that I absolutely love. I got this a few years back. It's one of my favorite things to use. It's so efficient for cutting the soaps. Here are what the end pieces look like, and here's what the inside of the bar looks like. I think the swirl turned out great. I like it. It also smells really good. So here's like the abstract swirl. I hope you guys like it. And this is available on my website right now? No. It'll be available soon, but you can check out my website with the link in my description. See, I still have to dry it. I just made this soap. These dry for 4 weeks. And also next to it are the cranberry soaps that I also made. So I put them on these trays, and then they go on these like baking racks. I never really show this on TikTok, but that's what it looks like when I do it. I just wrapped everything on the trays, so there's no more on it right now, but I hope you like this video and subscribe.